for pick 4 here from our 4-pack, and we go here to the one everyone's waiting for. This is this is going to be the game tonight. They're going to make us wait. About 9:45 Eastern time, CBS has UCLA facing Gonzaga. Bruins laying 2, total 145.5.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching this game. I think the matchup between Drew Timme and Jaime Jacques Jr. I think that's going to be a really cool thing to watch. Both of these guys, I think, have futures at the next level, obviously. So I think that it'll, I'm not saying it's bird or magic yet, but it's a good matchup in college. If you look at Gonzaga was the preseason number 2 team in the country, and they are the highest team remaining of the teams that were ranked in the preseason in the top 5. So that's something to remember here. So they're a team that was probably expecting to be here coming into the season, obviously. UCLA has been 17-16 against the spread this year, so somewhat pedestrian. Gonzaga was only 13-19 against the spread this year, but it can be, probably inferred on some level because they don't play in the strongest conference, but they do have a few tough road contests they have to go into every year within that conference. So you can see some of these games they didn't cover, and at the end of the day, I think Gonzaga has been 5-2 when they've been underdogs of plus 105 or more. So they're a team that generally, if there are underdogs, they tend to get fired up and seem to want to prove themselves. And again, I think in a toss-up, I think it is basically a toss-up game. But I'd like to take the bucket in a situation like that, and so I'll take the Bulldogs.
All right, we got probably taking that Gonzaga here. We're going to go ahead and take the 2 points here against UCLA. Of course, UCLA have shown offense and defense, put up some impressive numbers here in this NCAA tournament in their games here against they beat Northwestern and UNC Asheville, which was just a weak opponent there. But one thing I'll notice with Gonzaga, when you look at their season numbers, you'll notice that the defense not too good. But if you look down the stretch, they have really tightened up that defense.
They have, and again, I think Mark Few is he's just an excellent coach. I think he knows how to coach for the regular season. I think he knows how to coach for tournament time, and I think they are as well a prepared team as there is in college basketball right now. And they're actually one of the teams in my brackets that have been continuing on. I actually expect them to win this whole thing. So I think their defense is good enough. I think they are going to have to score better, continue to shoot well, going forward here, especially against the UCLA team. I think it's going to require it may require 80 points to win this game, for Gonzaga. So I think this is one of those games that is probably not going to go under. I'm pretty sure that both of these teams are going to put some points on the board. So I think defense. So maybe in a high scoring game like that, maybe a defensive stop down the stretch may come into play, but. I think this is going to be an offensive dominated game, I think, on both sides.
All right, got Pravy Gonzaga +2 here against UCLA. This one will have a start time here of 9:45 Eastern time over on CBS. All right, Pravy, let's take a look over at Tony'sPicks.com for this action here coming up here for Thursday. Of course, Pravy has put some good numbers up here in NBA, 544 units. Pravy was one of the units leader for us here at Tony'sPicks.com for 2022. Looking forward for a great 2023 here from Pravy Sambamurti. All right, Pravy, what are your plans over at Tony Picks? What do you have going on?
Well, we got a week remaining before baseball season starts, so the Major Leagues has 15 games on slate for next Thursday. So I've got my power rankings down for baseball. I've been working on that for the last week. So my full year package is out there right now. A very fair price for the full season, 162 games for each of the teams, and. A lot of the different things kind of changed a little bit. I was a little surprised a little bit by when I did my power rankings this year on some of the teams that slipped down and a few of the teams that kind of risen up a little bit. So I think it's going to be a very exciting year coming up. Obviously, NBA and NHL making the final push now to the playoffs. I think NBA is down to less than 20 games left. I think NHL is close to that. And my packages for the second half for NBA and NHL allows you full access to all my playoff picks as well. March Madness is still going on, guys. So, Sweet 16 is coming up. There's 8 great games coming up the next couple of days. And then we got the Final Four on Saturday. NIT and CBI are finishing up as well. So my March Madness package is still out there. A lot of money is going to be traded over the next few days over those games. So please definitely take advantage of that. And we have the best cappers in the industry here. You can just check by looking at the leaderboard every day. It's hard to get on there. We're going to bring you some value on your bankroll.
That's right, guys. Yeah, we're with Pravy, Sambamurti right now over at Tony'sPicks.com. Long-term passes. Baseball is getting ready for baseball. Starts on Thursday with that 15-game card, full season baseball pass, very affordably priced. And you could use the promo code of TonyT at checkout, and that will save you 20% off that purchase or any of the purchases over at Tony'sPicks.com. We're just do the math here on the baseball here. It's $140 off, significant savings there. And you can access Pravy's page by clicking the link you see there in the description. Click the All Cappers tab, and you'll land right on Pravy's page. And go ahead and get signed up. You'll find his long-term passes up there. Of course, also, I must note here, and we're going to work to get this language onto the sites here as we're doing a lot of site adjustments here. As you know, we're really in the first year. It's been a lot of software development. Now it's getting more creative now here in year 2. But I wanted to mention the late steam. Probably I know you do a lot of late steam out there. One of the unique features that we have here at Tony's Picks that kind of separates us from our competition is the ability to allow our cappers to post picks late in the day. If you post plays between 10 minutes and 2 hours of game time, they're flagged as late steam. You'll see them in green, but those plays are emailed directly to members. So those are the ones that are emailed to you. The rest of them are in the member area, but any play that probably puts in late will be emailed directly to you. Probably I know you post a lot of the late steam plays in as well.
Absolutely. We've got a couple of games. NBA's got a big slate tonight, but there are a couple late games there. And the NHL's got a 10 o'clock game tonight, too, so I'll be looking into that as well.
That's right. And, of course, that for any of the sports out there, baseball as well, you see something late, there's a pitching change. You know, what do you do? Well, we'll be able to react, right, with that late steam. That's something, a unique feature that we have, sets us apart from the competition. Nobody's doing that. They used to do it. You may remember back in the day with the old score phones or the old phone rooms, the late steam. those were like the big dollar picks. But you're going to get them right here at regular price. We're not going to fleece you guys like those guys used to do back in the day, probably.
No. We're the modern age. Yeah.
That's right. Just remember that. But again, late steam plays probably has a high volume of late steam. That's included on the long-term passes. Again, a long-term pass, you get your members' plays, log in early in the morning like you do for the plays, and then as the day wears, they can post plays between 10 minutes and 2 hours for game time, and those are emailed directly. The late steam plays are part of the long-term passes, so go ahead and get signed up. All right, Pravy, as always, great having you on the show, having you aboard here at Tony'sPicks.com to year number 2. Keep up that great work, and we'll catch up with you again down the line.
Absolutely. Have a great time watching the games.
I got it. Pravy Sambamurti here. I'm Tony T. We'll talk to you guys next time.